here are my rankings for the 12 state championship games at AT&T Stadium.
Okay.
Number 12, the 1A Division I state championship game between Borden County and Jonesboro.
Wednesday's nightcap.
Yeah. This gets docked because it did end early. This ended late in the or early in the first quarter or fourth quarter rather.
Fourth quarter, yeah.
Due to the 45-point mercy rule. This was all about the Borden County defense.
Mm-hmm.
Just an absolute a performance for the ages in six-man football.
Right.
In a title game. They really impressed me defensively. It was remarkable. I was really impressed with them. Jonesboro. By the way, TexasFootball.com/state is where you can find all of this stuff. But Jonesboro is a run-first team, and what Eddie Gallegos has done at Jonesboro is really remarkable. They're a run-first team. If the running game's not working, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that they just didn't have a plan B.
Right.
And Borden County shut down the run, and they are the 1A Division I state champions. It was the 12th best game at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Number 11, the last game of the week, 6A Division I. Lake Travis 41, the Woodlands 13. I think it's funny because I've talked to people, and when I talk to people, I say I expected a better game. I expected the Woodlands to have a counterpunch.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is Lake Travis came out, and from the opening gun, they dominated this game. Mm-hmm. And that was the only real surprise to me, was that we both picked Lake Travis.
Yep.
The only real surprise was the margin and the level of dominance that we saw. I mean, Charlie Brewer was on point.
Yeah.
The defense was really impressive.
Yeah.
The defense, they are really good at taking away your number one option. And they made Eric Schmid, who's had a remarkable year, they made him look pedestrian. Mm-hmm. It was really impressive. Now, you are the number one Lake Travis historian in the world.
Yes.
Is that the best Lake Travis team of all time?
Talent-wise, I would say yes. It's hard to compare because the 08 team, if you remember, that was the team that beat Longview, a good Longview team, really maybe one of the best Longview teams ever, 48-23.
Yeah.
That was a huge whooping.
Yeah. Of a really physical Longview team. You know?
And Longview still put up 23 points in that game, which I think says a lot about how good that Longview team was.
Mm-hmm.
But pound for pound, like skill, this team is unreal.
I'm telling you.
Especially the offense. Good Lord.
They had so many weapons. Yeah. It was like we didn't even talk about the.
And I don't even think they played like as well as they have against some other teams like Atascocita and
boy, they came out.
Westlake.
They came out like
that. They came out hot,
though.
I don't feel like they sustained it. I feel like they kind of like
they came out
they
hot.
Got up by 27 to start.
They came out hot and you blinked and it was 27-0. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. That's number 11. Number 10. 3A Division II state championship game. Gunter 43, Boling 7. This one only gets docked because it was just a blowout. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk to Coach Jake Fizel here in a moment, but that offense is so much like I get it now. I get it. Like I get how they beat all those teams. Like that offense is so much fun to watch. Yeah. Trey Carr, their quarterback. I know Colson Stovall is getting a lot of the accolades, and he had a great game. I don't want to take anything away from him. Dude, the MVP for me is
option
Trey
game starts
Carr.
with the quarterback.
And that dude made right decision after right decision after right decision. And they carved up a really good bowling team.
That's if you're a football nerd, running the pistol with a triple option with a pistol formation. You've read a little bit about it because Bob Davie and New Mexico are doing it, but boy,
they're running it better.
no one else is doing it, and Gunter just mowed people to the ground.
They really did. That's number 10. Number 9. We'll talk to their quarterback in a moment. Bremond 49, Iraan 28. 2A Division II title game. This game was closer than the score indicated because Bremond hit the Jets in the second half. And
we have a few of those, right? We had a few games where the first half was outstanding and kind of made us wonder where it was going to go from there. This was one of them where the Jets changed the second half.
It was the second half. It's a close game at halftime, but then at the second half, it was just all Rashad Paul, and he was tremendous. Yeah, he was really, really good the entire game, and he just cemented his legacy. This was a legacy game for him, and he cemented his legacy. It was really, really cool. All right, so that is here. I'm going to airdrop you a photo here. Because I told you I would. That's number 9. Number 8.
All right.
Mineola 35, Yoakum 14. And this was another game that was close. that Mineola took over, and the headliner here is Jeremiah Crawford.
Woo!
And look, if you watched Fox Sports Southwest's coverage, you're going to hear a lot of what I said here. You're going to hear a lot of what I said here or on there here.
Yeah.
Because I just have a lot of the same thoughts. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That is a different quarterback than we saw in 2014 title game.
Sure, sophomore to senior. You'd expect that, right?
That is a different dude. Jeremiah Crawford was in complete command.
Man, he's so fast too.
And just that little crease.
Yep.
And he's a
one
rocket.
of those guys that finds the seam and he's gone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a good Yoakum team. And I thought Bo Robinson's squad had the stomach for the fight.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that they just didn't have an answer for the speed of Mineola. Right. And that was the bottom line of it. Number 7, Richland Springs 96, Balmorhea 50. It started at all 4 o'clock on Wednesday. And I loved this game because you got to see a little bit of everything. Richland Springs, you see why they are such an incredible program.
Right.
They're so well coached, and they always have a superstar.
Right.
And Walker Tippy, holy cow, he's the best player on the field by a factor of 10. Yeah. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tippy time.
Tippy time.
It's great. It was fun to watch him.
Is tippy time a thing that existed before you coined the phrase? Or
I didn't coin it. I didn't coin it. That is apparently Lehman Saunders, our 6-man insider, told me that on the radio broadcast
they call it tippy time.
Whenever he runs the ball, it's tippy time.
That's awesome.
Which is great.
That's awesome.
I will tell you that probably had my favorite moment of the weekend. My favorite moment of the weekend because there was a great crowd, 4,500 for a Balmorhea who's 2,000 miles away.
Right.
And Richland Springs, who's been there, Richland Springs, who I don't believe has ever played there before. I talked to Jerry Burkhardt on the field before. He's like, we've never played here. It's like, oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
So Balmorhea brings like 2,000 fans from 400 miles away.
Yeah.
They bring 2,000 fans. And, no. Don't call me right now. I don't know why you're calling me right now. So, he... Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted.
That's all right.
So Balmorhea
wins
the toss, receives, drives down, and scores, and goes up 8-0. And I'm on the Balmorhea sideline. Or no, I'm up there with you guys.
Yeah,
I'm up
you're
there
with us.
You guys. Yeah. And you can vouch. The roof almost came off that place.
It was awesome.
That was the biggest thing to ever happen to the town of Balmorhea.
It was awesome.
They take an 8-0 lead, and that place is going berserk.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Awesome. They ended up not having enough, but they had a lot better fight than we thought they would.
Oh, for sure.
And that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
In number 6, Carthage 31, Abilene Wylle 17. What can you say? This was all about turnovers in the second half. This was a tie game at halftime like we expected. It was physical.
The first half was off the chain, man. The crowds, that was one of the best crowds we had all weekend, and it was nuts.
And Wylie comes out, and they get 2 passing touchdowns early. And they got that tiptoe touchdown on the sideline, and you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is and that place was going nuts. And then Carthage came back like they always did. Keontae Ingram was great, but it was the secondary. It was the defense that came up with 5 big turnovers in the second half.
So many.
It doomed Abilene, Wylie, and Carthage, deserving for a Division I champs. Number 5, Aledo 24, Calallen 16. This is the 100th time I've said it. Calallen lured the best team in 5A into playing their game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
It was really impressive. That's such a Phil Danaher thing to do. And Mike Craven in our booth said it first, and he goes, "You know what Calallen's best thing is? The best thing about them is they make you look bad."
Yeah.
And you know what? They made Aledo, who's a really good team, look like good, because you can't make Aledo look bad.
No.
But they did not look great. And I'll tell you, Aledo, you see why they're state champions. They've got so many weapons.
I mean, look, we saw them all year, and this is no slight to Calallen. It's just how good Aledo is. Really thought Aledo would just run away with every single game on the way to the title. I mean, that's how good they are. That's how good they look. And for Calallen to put up that kind of effort, and really, like we said, 2 fumbles away from maybe the unthinkable.
All of a sudden, you're looking around, you're like, oh my gosh, are they gonna win this thing?
That's a huge credit to a program with a lot of tradition, a coach with a lot of wins, and Coach Danaher, and Gage Lamb.
Dude,
I mean, I think we all walked away from that going, holy cow.
Baller.
Yeah.
He's a ball. He balled out of control. And then of course Chase McClellan, the freshman. He's 14 years old. The running back for Aledo. He's 14 years old.
Yeah.
He's 14 years old.
Right.
He looked incredible.
Yeah.
Number 4, West Orange Shark 24, Sweetwater 6. Another game like that where we thought there was a pretty clear favorite. But let me tell you, and I'll tell you exactly my thought process. I'm watching that game, and West Orange Shark gets the ball, and they're marching down the field. They march down the field, they get to the 1-yard line, and you go, all right, well, here it comes. They're about to go up 7-0, and it's over with the West Orange Shark defense. It's over.
Right.
If you make them chase, if you make Sweetwater chase, it's over.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, fumble, scoop and score. Luke James, scoop and score. And
hey, wait a minute.
Speaking of the roof coming off, the
man.
entire town of Sweetwater is there, and they're going.
It was awesome.
Ape.
It was awesome.
They're going ape.
Awesome.
And everyone is. We're like, oh my God, is this going to happen?
Here we go.
And let me tell you, West Orange Shark. It took a while. They didn't score until like 30 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah.
They go
Credit to the Sweetwater defense.
Sweetwater
way
defense
better than I thought they would be.
Stood
Unreal.
up. But I'm telling you, man, that West Orange Shark defense. That's the fastest defense I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I would only put a couple ahead of them, and they're like twice the size of that school.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, from sideline to sideline, their defensive line's getting out there. That defense that's a legendary defense.
The last couple of years, the only two defenses I've seen that I felt like were faster were DeSoto this year and GADI last year.
Amazing.
Those are schools twice their size.
Speaking of DeSoto, number 3, DeSoto 38, Cibolo Steele 29.
This is my game of the weekend.
Really? That's your number 1?
I would have put this at number 1. Star power and for how close it got down the stretch.
Boy,
and,
there were.
And all the storylines.
There were tons of storylines. There were tons of big plays in this one.
Yeah.
We were talking about the throw Sean Robinson made at the end of the first half. The touchdown throw on the final play. A missile.
Yeah.
That KD Cannon catches in the back of the end zone.
Katie Nixon.
KD Cannon. It's easy to get them confused.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Back and forth. Steele looks dead to rights at halftime. 28-10. You're going. This is only going one way. But back comes Steele. DeSoto kind of lets him creep in. And if you ever doubted that football was poetry, DeSoto seals a state championship
on a field goal.
With a field goal.
Amazing.
And after like 30 different times getting screwed over by not having special teams. They finally win it on a field goal, and this was a great game. Both teams played their guts out.
I told Matt Stepp after the game, I was like, I'm glad I wasn't down on the field because it was one of those games where I would have been choking up just watching them. Just after all the years of them coming so close. I was happy for Coach Todd Peterman, Sean Robinson.
Happy for
a lot of haters for Sean Robinson in the last year and a half. Yeah, I mean he overcame a lot. Those DeSoto kids, man, and they were partying. It was awesome.
I doubted Sean Robinson. At the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But as the season goes on, I've become more and more a believer. Yeah. And you know what, man? That kid's legit. There's no doubt about it. I was a doubter. I am a doubter no more. Number 2, Refuglo 23, Crawford 20. If you want to talk about teams in losing efforts that you have buckets of respect for.
Right. Crawford, man.
Another game we thought we're like, okay, Refugio is going to blow their doors off, and Crawford comes out, and that screen pass that ties the game at 20. Like there's so many stories. Like Refugio, it's a tie ball game, and Refugio quarterback Jacoby Avery barfs on the field.
Yeah,
he barfs. He yaks on the field, and then the next
timeout,
so
he can compose himself.
Next play, he runs in for a touchdown.
Awesome,
like unbelievable. And then and you're thinking destiny right there. It's
here
kismet. It's written.
Yeah.
Back comes Crawford.
Yeah.
And that screen pass where Garrett Dutchman avoids like 9 tackles and gets in with like 5 minutes left. You're going, oh my God, what is going on?
It's unreal.
Crawford fought tooth and nail. In the end, it's the smallest kid on the field, Diego Gonzalez. Who bangs through a game-winning 23-yard field goal.
And we have to talk about that last drive, too, right? Just perfect, right? They slowly march on. I think they burned like 4.5 minutes off the clock. Jason Herring manages it perfectly. I mean, they juice every second out of that clock and drive it down. I think they had 6 seconds left when they kicked the ball off. I mean, it was
perfect clock management. It really was.
Really well coached by that entire staff.
Those were 2 teams. Man, I could watch those 2 teams play forever. That was awesome. That was an awesome game. And my number 1, I didn't think I'd be saying this.
I know, right?
Highland Park 16, Temple 7.
Great game.
First of all, the reason that this is my number 1 game is that the margins are so slim.
Sure. There's no room for error.
The margin for error is so small
Yeah.
that every play was so massive.
Yeah.
And I said it on the air. I thought John Stephen Jones had a nice game. I didn't think he was the MVP.
Right.
The MVP was Paxton Alexander, that running back.
Yeah.
The third-string running back who grinded out 130-something, 140 yards against a tough Temple defense.
You know, the thing, though, is it's easy to defend the pick for MVP to John Stephen Jones because when they needed big plays, he delivered, I think, 3 that basically turned the game.
Agreed.
Whereas on the other side, the Temple offense just couldn't quite get as many.
That's exactly
you know?
it. You know, give that Highland Park defense a ton of credit. That they're outmanned.
Yeah.
They're outmanned up front, but that defensive line grinded it out. And they made Reed Hesse look pretty average. You know?
And he's had a great year.
He's had a tremendous year, but they made a great quarterback look pretty average. Yeah. And they sat back. They knew they were out-athleted on the outside. The defensive game plan for Randy Allen was terrific. And I just love the margins, and I just love that hard-hitting defense. That was my number one game. So those are my games and a terrific weekend at AT&T Stadium.